Hey guys, Daphne here. I'm a mom of two, I'm a volleyball coach, and I'm a handcrafted enthusiast. If you found this video, you might be like me. You may have gotten pregnant, and maybe during a global pandemic. I started my side hustle because I was at home with my newborn and I was feeling just utterly trapped. I wasn't able to go anywhere with her or do any of the things that I had been able to do with my son in my first pregnancy and first maternity leave. So my inner planner was coming out in all sorts of different creative ways, and as a result, I created both my website and this video blog. When I was pregnant, I found an online group of moms who were expecting babies around the same time that I was. I was able to bounce off ideas and ask questions of experienced moms and new moms and people going through things at the same time. That was so useful and helpful to me, more so than say like a Google search that would give me the absolute worst answer or detrimental thing that could happen or put me in circles. So I created this video blog to try to speak on my own experiences, which may not be applicable for everybody, but may be useful for one person who just needs to hear it another way. I'm pretty new to this YouTube thing. I'm learning a lot and things will improve as I keep doing this. But I'm hoping very early on that this channel can be used as a place for tips on pregnancy and momming and any other creative stuff that comes to mind. So stick around, we're gonna get started with 3 things that I think you need to plan for in your pregnancy. So whether you're trying to get pregnant, already pregnant, really bursty pregnant, congratulations on taking steps to educate yourself and be more aware of your own personal reproductive health. That's always a really good way to set a positive tone to your pregnancy journey. But at each stage, it seems like there's so many things to remember, there's so many things to do, and it can seem kind of overwhelming. I've tried to break this video down to 3 things that you really need to plan for or discuss or think about. And these are not negotiable. And then I'm also going to talk about 3 things that really you don't need to invest too much energy or effort or money into, and those kinds of things will come naturally to you. Let's get into it. The first thing that you really need to plan out are things related to your pregnancy health and delivery details. So these are things that are going to keep you and your baby safe during baby's growth and during your delivery. These are things like, do you have any medical concerns for yourself before your pregnancy or during your pregnancy? Do you have any risk factors that you need to be conscious of? So for example, I had gestational diabetes in both of my pregnancies with differing levels between the two. So that meant I had to track things like additional appointments that I had, my blood sugar, things I ate, things I was doing for exercise, how stressed I was. All that stuff I actually had to plan for. As well, I had to think about things like, do I need to take any supplements? So I had to take iron supplements during my pregnancy. As well, did you take prenatal vitamins? Are there any other medications that you have to take? Those are the kinds of things you really need to have set and solid and educate yourself about. Do you have a birth plan? Now, not everyone needs to have their birth plan on a nice formatted sheet, laminated, and given to their midwife. But having a birth plan, or at least discussions with your support system about what your birth plan is, means that at a critical moment, everyone who is a care provider for you or support is going to know what your preferences are. And those will ideally be respected as much as they can. Yeah, things can change. I don't know that I've ever known of any pregnancy or delivery that went exactly as planned, but it's important to have these ideals set out as a default, as well as assessing what would happen if something changes. So your birth plan would cover things like who's your support that's going to be there for you, pain management, assisted delivery options. And obviously all these things, you want to have some level of flexibility. But again, you want to have those early conversations to ensure that you're having as smooth a delivery as possible. The second thing to plan for is baby's immediate needs within the first 3 months of delivery. So this is things like, how is baby going to be fed? Do you intend to breastfeed? If you have difficulties with that, are you going to use formula? If you require a breast pump, do you know which one you would want to get? If you have workplace insurance, are they going to help cover the cost of that? Do you have all the necessary things that would make breastfeeding, which is a challenge for even the best of moms, as easy as possible? That's things like nursing bras, appropriate tops, maybe a nightgown that has an easy access, a quiet place to do this. These are the kinds of things that you want to think about. In addition, what about medical care for the baby? Who's the baby's pediatrician? Where are they located? Is it close to you? Is it close to a hospital? Do they have parking? There's no right answer for any of these things, but these are things you should probably know and educate yourself on before baby arrives. Are you going back to work early? It's important to think about what baby's care is going to look like once you do. Are you going to be getting help from maybe family members or friends? And if so, have those conversations early. What exactly does that look like? What are the expectations? If not, if you're going to a daycare, for example, maybe you need to start looking into registration. Some daycares have registration wait lists of about a year. Do you have enough baby clothes, diapers, and a crib or a bassinet? Truth be told, for the first 3 months or so, baby doesn't really wear that many clothes, especially outdoor clothes. A lot of the time, baby will wear maybe just a sleeper or be swaddled, or in the first few days be naked a lot. Most babies don't need that many newborn diapers. I think my son was in newborn diapers for maybe a week, and my daughter was in newborn diapers for, I think, 3 weeks. Baby also will need a safe place to sleep that's ideally not your bed, so a crib or a bassinet. The third thing to plan for is mom's immediate needs for the first 3 months after birth. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that the 4th trimester, which is those 3 months after birth, can be rough. Even if you've been a mom before, even if your delivery goes really smoothly, you might still feel like you're not yourself, or you might be recovering from a difficult birth, or you might just feel so tired. Or if you're feeding the baby all the time, you might just feel like that's all you do. And if you're like me or like some other moms that I know, that might put into question things like, who am I? Like, who have I become? I'm just this baby feeder. Talk to your support system about ensuring that you have time to do things like self-maintenance and self-care. And they're not the same thing. Self-maintenance is things like, can I be relieved by somebody in order to take a shower? Self-care is things like, can I get a half hour of time to just read a book or hang out on my phone? Also consider if there's things that can be done to make things easier for you, as easy as they can be. So things like maybe a comfy chair, maybe putting together like a breastfeeding caddy that can follow you around the house, or having another change station on another floor other than the baby's room. Do you need any pads or like Depends underwear? Do you need maybe a donut pillow to sit on to help with soreness in the area? Do you want visitors during the first week or 2? These are things that you want to have some kind of plan for. Also, how is round-the-clock care going to look? Are you going to be the one to wake up every single night if the baby needs to be fed? That's if you have a partner. If you're both going to wake up, what is the role that the non-breastfeeding person can do to assist? Does that mean changing the baby? Does that mean preparing a bottle? Does that mean bringing you water? Does that mean just staying up, which is hard, but staying up and keeping you company so that you don't feel lonely? These are really good conversations to have before you have a breakdown. If only one person is getting up, Is there an agreed upon time of the day, say when the other partner gets home from work or when dinner needs to be made, that you can be relieved for an hour or two to do whatever, to make dinner or to just sit and relax, and where that other person gets the chance to bond with baby. Those are good things and good discussions to have. And lastly, what are some classes and educational pieces that you can engage in before baby is born? So that's things like, does your hospital offer tours or prenatal classes, breastfeeding classes, infant CPR classes? Where's your local lactation consultant organization? So hopefully that gives you 3 major things and lots of little tiny things to think about for your pregnancy. Okay, switching gears a little bit, now we're going to talk about 3 things that you really don't need to think about too hard at this point, and maybe will just come naturally or fall into place as your baby grows. The first thing is baby stuff. That's things like clothes, toys, equipment. All babies grow very differently, and they kind of just blow through clothing age groups. So, buying too much clothing in any one age group is not a good idea. I recommend that you supplement whatever people give you as you need it. For example, my son basically never wore newborn clothing, whereas my daughter needed newborn clothing because she was a smaller baby. If you buy too much in the beginning out of excitement, you might find that your baby only wore something one time, and now you're either donating it or giving it away, which is great, but not great for you. In addition, not every piece of baby equipment is useful for every baby. Your baby may not need a bouncer, may not need a jumper, may not need a exerciser, and may not need a activity pen. But you won't know that until you see how your baby develops and what their preferences are. For example, my son very rarely used his jumper, whereas my daughter uses it all the time. The same goes for things like baby foods and rice cereals. Don't go out and buy 20 boxes of rice cereal. First of all, 1 box of rice cereal goes a long way. You probably only ever need to buy 1 box of rice cereal for your whole life. Also, not all babies will go through that stage. My daughter hates purees. After about 1 week, we stopped, and she's only been eating solids since then. With today's ease in shopping and e-commerce, you will be able to find whatever you need. So if, within the next week you need to get an activity mat, you can get that. Don't feel like I need to purchase all these things ahead of time without learning about your baby and learning what they like and learning how they're developing. Second thing you don't really have to worry about too much is baby's schedule. Most babies before 4 months don't really have a set schedule. If you happen to have a baby who already sleeps through the night at 2 months old and goes down for a nap really easily, great. Maybe you fluked out. Out of sheer exhaustion, a lot of moms in early stages feel like they need to force their babies to stick to a schedule that works with real adult life. And truth be told, your baby doesn't really care about what schedule you want. Your baby's coming from an environment where 24/7 everything was comfy, they were always fed, never felt hunger, never felt cold, never felt alone, and never felt like they weren't being hugged. And now they're in a world where they're trained and programmed to alert you anytime something isn't right. Changing your mindset to understand that baby is not trying to victimize you, this is just how babies are, can really help to let you have a compassionate approach to your baby in those really difficult moments. As baby gets older, you'll start to get a sense and read cues from your baby to know when they're ready and when you're prepared as a family to get your baby to a more reasonable schedule. The third thing that you don't really need to plan for is mom bouncing back. Even if you're a second-time mom, third-time mom, athlete, pro athlete, there is no need to anticipate what your body is going to look and feel like, good or bad. There's no need to expect that it's going to take so many months to be so many pounds lighter, than your peak pregnancy weight. And there's also no need to expect that everything is going to go downhill. Every pregnancy is so different. Everyone's conditions and where they're coming from is so different. And it's really important to allow your body that freedom to naturally give you cues as to when you're ready to, say, get active, when you're ready to see people and talk to people and open up about things that happen. It's going to be different for everybody. Also, allow yourself to have some mental health fluctuations. So day to day, half day to half day, hour to hour, you might go from feeling pure bliss and cuddles and joy to feeling trapped and alone and helpless and tired. And that's okay. Never invalidate your own feelings about this. I think a lot of moms will compare their situation to others and say, well, mine isn't so bad, so I don't really have a right to complain. And that's not really helpful. Your body is feeling a certain way for a reason, and you should validate that. There is no, I should feel this way, I should be happy these times, I should be sad these times. Allow yourself that freedom and that space to experience different emotions, to accept them, to recognize them, and to adjust however you need to. So there you go, guys. Those are the 3 things you need to plan for and the 3 things you really don't need to plan for in your pregnancy. The overarching idea is that while it seems like there's a lot of things to do and to plan for, there's some things that are really, really important and some things that you can try to let happen naturally on their own. Leave me some comments below to talk about your experiences, which may be totally different than my experience. What things do you want to hear more about in videos? What are some questions that you've had? What do you Google? At the end of the day, I want to be part of your support system in your pregnancy. Okay guys, here's the most exciting part about my journey is I made something. I made a pregnancy planner during this pandemic, which is now available for pre-order on my website. The planner has fillable calendars for every step of the journey from day 1 to week 40. It has checklists to help plan out every corner, every item of your pregnancy, your delivery, and for your baby's needs. It also has weekly and monthly status pages where you can keep track of baby's growth and your symptoms and mental health, which is super helpful when you're visiting your medical care provider. It's mirrored off of exactly what I created for myself during my pregnancies and would make a wonderful gift for a mom-to-be or as a personal keepsake. If you pre-order now through the month of May, I will include my pregnancy planning stickers for free. This sticker sheet includes 20 stickers for your calendar. So that's for your appointments, your medical appointments, your ultrasounds, everything. This offer is only valid through the month of May 2021. So pre-order yours now so you can get this free. I hope you liked this video. Click the link in the description to get to my website where you can purchase the planner, you can purchase other creations of mine, cards, stickers, baby toys, accessories, everything. For more, please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram at daffodils.designs. And stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to talk about the similarities and the differences between my first and second pregnancies, deliveries, and my kids. Thanks for watching.